researched biodiesel, bringing biodiesel to the student farm, and basically I looked into the logistics of who we would need to work with on campus, the different departments that we would need to collaborate with, and who else would benefit from this project.
Yeah, there's one nearby. It's great, and they're broken up into easiest, like a little harder, and the hardest to save, just so the person like isn't super intimidated by if they're going to be able to return those seeds that they took out, just because it is kind of honor system.
At the turn of the century, when the Industrial Revolution came in, most of America and the world were using horses to farm.
One-two thing.
About the class, the current class that we have introduces students to draft horses, to the basic upkeep and welfare of learning how to interact with horses, to be safe around them, and then to start developing a relationship and harnessing, learning about the gear that you'd use with horses.
Then next year, put a cover crop on it, see if that absorbs the nutrients from that, and then the third year, plant another cash crop and see if there's even more difference between the regular and the biochar. And that's, I hope to see differences in the amount of fertilizer used, the amount of pesticides used, hopefully reduced in both ways, and water usage as well. So,
now would you be adding biochar every...
It's about animal and crop rotation and sustainable agriculture. So what I'm trying to do is close the loop wholly of fertilizer, crop, and animal production. So back in the old days, when you thought of a farm, they had livestock and vegetables. But today, it's really, most large scale is diverged. It's either mainly livestock producing or mainly vegetable producers. And I think they go hand in hand, so you got to bring them together. Fall we're planting cover crops, and they're overwintering. And they're coming up in the spring. And these cover crops, like things like legumes and just rye, grass, everything, that's what these animals eat. So you bring them in and you let them forage and graze all over that, and once you take them off, they left a whole bunch of fertilizer in there. So after that, you can plow that in and then plant directly into a nice fertile field.
So this year, for the first time, we will be growing stuff with the intent of harvesting it in the summer. You can see here we're growing broccoli, carrots, cucumbers, eggplant, summer squash, zucchini, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, cantaloupe, honeydew, cilantro, and basil. And we're hoping that the dining hall will buy most, if not all of it, and then...
So what are you doing?
Alright, I'm doing a flea beetle management for brassica crops, which is basically, we have a lot of flea beetle problems. They attacked 1/3 of our crops last year. So this year what I like to do is trap crop around, let's say, kale, and I want to use the bok choy and southern giant mustard as an outside perimeter. They're more attractive to the flea beetles, so they're going to go right up to those, and they'll never get into the actual kale. And if there's too much pressure, I like to use organic pesticides, knock them down and take care of it that way. Yeah.
So the student farm is both a class and a student-run business. In the spring, the class plans the entire crop production system based on our market needs, and in the summer, about half of the crew stays on and works full-time and grows all the produce, follows the plans that the students made in the spring, and then in the fall, we basically market all the produce to on-campus venues, as well as Big Y and an on-campus CSA.
Crops that we grow. And so once we figure out what crops we want to grow, then we kind of